Recently, I had a conversation with two of my friends, two conversations with one friend each, about suicide. And so both of these people were suicidal, and it was incredibly interesting. I would never say I've been suicidal. I think everyone's kind of sort of thought their own death a little bit, and maybe asked the question sort of like, why am I alive? Da 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 da. But what would really make a suicidal person, I think, is someone who's got like a premeditated plan. So I'm talking to these guys and like saying I would do this and this and this, and that's when like it actually gets serious. But the thing they both said really was just like, I don't know why I should be here. Like, what is my reason to live? And I mean, I don't really know what you say to someone in that moment. I was not their last resort. They had not like phone called me up while they were on the bridge or something. But they were talking to me, and I acknowledged that, the typical person is going to go, oh, bro, you shouldn't kill yourself because of like this or because of this or because they would have heard all of that before and stuff like this. And also, like, I don't think I really believed it myself. Like, if I said, oh, you shouldn't kill yourself because you've, like, I know, got people who love you, and not that that isn't a good reason, but there's something called the absurd. And if you've read, or you will have probably heard of Albert Camus, or you almost definitely will have heard of Sisyphus, the myth of Sisyphus. He's the dude that pushes the boulder up the hill. And Camus says, like, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. The idea being that the biggest problem in life, and he says the core problem of philosophy, or like the only thing that actually matters, is why do we keep on living? We ask the universe for meaning. Why are we here? And we just get silence. And that's what he calls the absurd. And what do you do with that? And there are like multiple ways you can respond. And his idea is that you kind of dance at the end of meaning. And I think on one of the covers of his book, you like a little guy dancing, just at like the edge of meaning, or like the edge of like the world inside the void. Oh, the absurd, I think, is the actual thing for it. By the way, I broke my glasses, so you got a glassesless James. And his idea is that your life should be a form of rebellion. That even though you call out into the void, the absurd, and you get nothing, it doesn't matter because you're here. You can create meaning. You can create life coloured with emotion and your own sources of meaning. And that's his idea. And that's why you must imagine Sisyphus happy, that even though that maybe like pushing the boulder has no meaning, that really that can be enough for a man and woman to like man is just like human to sustain themselves. And I'm talking to these guys, and it's really difficult. Well, it's not really difficult, but the initial response is, don't kill yourself, bro, you've got this or this or this. But when you're talking to someone and they're like, I don't know why I should be alive, honestly, my response was like, me too, bro. Which is difficult because like, I honestly don't know. Well, this is very weird. Like, I could easily say, I don't know why I'm alive, but I think that's kind of the whole point. It's like you come to this conclusion, and then I've just arguably chosen to. It's like a subjective thing. Like you arrive at no meaning. Like there's no reason you're here. And once you realise that, you can choose to do whatever. You can say, I'm fortunate. I have a very, very strong belief that there is a God through experiences that I've had. I think I mentioned that in my previous video, how prayer works according to an 18-year-old, and stuff like this. And so I believe that there is a God, and so that there's like a little bits I should kind of explore a bit more with regards to that, because the Bible says that killing yourself is a sin. So, and realistically, Jordan Peterson said that he knew someone that just said, you can always do it tomorrow. And that's like a pretty good mental of like, why not to kill yourself? That's what I thought. Like, I'm going to die anyway. Like, that's coming. Either there's nothing after death, and so you're just kind of bringing the nothing forward. So in which case, your tiny life in the context of just like nothing for eternity, you might as well just enjoy it, because like if you want death, you've already got more than enough of the void. Or there's something after, like people say heaven, like are you trying to go to heaven? Because heaven sounds pretty good when earth kind of sucks in comparison. But yeah, it's difficult, I would say. But like you're instructed from my faith, like to not kill yourself. But it's difficult if you say that to someone and they're not like Christian or something. They're like, well, why shouldn't I kill myself? Especially when some of the people I've been talking to have had really miserable lives, and it's not really that life could be normal for them. It's not like if they stop being suicidal, like they're in a position where their life is actually going to get worse. Like, imagine you're talking to a kid with terminal cancer, and this cancer is just going to eat away at like him, and the amount of chemo you'd have to go through just for like a few more months, because this is a very real problem people face. They think, oh, do I want to keep my kid in a hospital for like so he can live like another year, or do we like get him out in the world for the last 2 months? And even though he won't be able to get the treatment that would prolong his life, like prolonged suffering is a difficult thing. It's not, there aren't always cases where you can fix it. And I think most families in that case would say, and I think if I was a father to a kid in this situation, I'd say, man, like you don't have to spend in this hospital, like your life in this hospital. Just let's go out and explore the world and stuff. But that's fucking difficult. That's really fucking difficult. I was thinking, you can tell someone not to kill themselves and the reason they shouldn't kill themselves, but it's a little bit more difficult when their almost next response to that is just going to be, okay, so why should I live? Because it's not a case of, okay, I'm not going to kill myself and that's it. It's a no. It's like, I'm not going to kill myself, so I'm living. So why should I do this? Why should I not end it? And that is where it's a really, really fucking annoying to answer, because you can again apply the same sort of, oh, you're going to die anyway. But it made me think when I'm talking to these guys, and like, why am I here? There are things that I want in life. For example, I'd like a motorbike, but I don't deeply want this. It doesn't feel... I remember maybe when I was a little bit younger, perhaps it's just a sign of maturity, but maturity sucks in this case. Like, I shouldn't be ungrateful for, like really wanting stuff. Not like a selfish, actually I imagine it would be. Like, when I was going to the gym a lot and I was chasing 100 kilograms on bench, I wanted this. I wanted to chase this. I wanted to like get it. I think I had it with exams and stuff too, like grades. I wanted this, and it didn't mean that it didn't translate to me just working tons and doing like gym the best every day. It didn't translate to me revising every day. I'm an awful reviser, but it did kind of get me fired up and like, yeah. The problem is, once I got the like this goal I was going to, I then would have to pivot to another goal, because otherwise, why would I need a reason to live? So let me find another one. And after a while, kind of, I think, begin to question, like, why pick any goal at all? And I had a friend who, his, say, meaning to life, I'm going to use a parallel. Say someone really, really loved photography, okay? And since a kid, they've done photography. So they've grown up and they've never questioned like the meaning of photography. Like, why do photography as opposed to anything else? Because they've just done it as a hobby. So it's just literally something they do. You know, those people who just do stuff. Like, I got a mate who's addicted to trains and engines. He just does cars and things like this. And he didn't wake up one day and think, I want to be a car person. He just thought, wow, cars are fucking awesome. Like, this car's fucking awesome. And he saw another car, it's like, oh, this one's awesome. And over time, he's just become a car person, you see? So it's people like that. But imagine, like, you had your camera and it just broke. What does that person do? Because now he can't do his hobby. Say he can't replace his camera. So he's thinking, fuck, like, my camera broke, you know? He's sad. He would be. And now he's got to pick another goal. But he can't help now. But when he sees these goals, kind of sees like an arbitrariness. And it's a really easy trap to fall into, this guy thinking like, oh, okay, well, my new life purpose is going to be, I don't know, skateboarding, you know? Because now it's like, he hasn't had the same sort of just like fun play thing. Instead of thinking, I want to be a car person, and then gone, oh, this car's awesome, this car's awesome, this car, and go together. He's trying to be the car person, and that's not how it works. And so it's really difficult when someone has that to kind of like, because you kind of realize that everything just is a bit like arbitrary. And I just don't know what to say in some cases, except for like, yeah, bro, like, me too. I don't know why I'm here. There is there's like a bit of me that wants to want. And I think I heard something like this on Chris Williams. And then I thought yesterday when I was talking to a friend after the gym, and I've had like the same conversation with so many people, just because since getting back from Poland, I've had like a bunch of really good stories that I have told to the same people again and again and again. It's been awesome. And I was talking to this friend about the conversations I've been having with people and just sort of saying, there are some people who are really fucking struggling. And I don't know what to tell them, like, to you, because it makes me think about my own meaning of life and why I'm here. And then I kind of realized, like, I think I mentioned it earlier with the selfish thing. These goals, I'm a lot more locked in on gym now. And that is because the primary motivation for that is I'd really like to be strong for my family. I want my future kid, to be able to look at me and be like, yeah, like, Dad's got it. Like, this guy, and stuff like this. And it seemed to me, the thing I said to my friend was that imagine you had $1 billion and I offered you $1 million. It would not make a difference to you. If you said yes or no, you'd say yes because why not? But like, it's a drop in the ocean. But if you had, say, $1 billion worth of companies that helped people, and someone said, do you want another company that helps like people? You're like, yeah, sure, help more people. Helping people is something that seems to be inherently valuable. And something that I really think was the thing, because that hit like an emotional chord with me. Think like, yeah, like, if I can serve other people, that seemed to really like connect. Maybe not so much now, like the way I'm saying it here, but if you think about it logically, no matter how, you can get super rich and then money kind of loses meaning. But no matter how helpful you are, or no matter how how great, you see what I mean? No matter how many people you help, you still want to help more people, logically. And I really like this idea. And then I looked into more about like, okay, so how would that, like, what does that call me to be? And sort of examples meant, I think I focused on I focused on Aragorn for ages because this guy's just goated. And it was interesting that every time I would previously try to find a life purpose, so say go really all in on like a business or on like fight it mentally, I haven't like basically done nothing. But just trying to find like a framework that I could position myself, that would allow me to position myself in the world and sort of have a purpose. It kind of crumbled. And I literally think that's just because you can't have any one aspect of this framework that makes like a good man that is able to help other people. Like you can't just go through life and be like a warrior. You have to be able to do other stuff like care. And I think it's literally just a lack of poor emotional integration on my behalf that's meant that like I haven't realized this sooner. But now it's like I'm very much like trying to man max. I don't really know exactly what I'm saying there, but it's nice. I'm in a good place with regards to like my thought. And the final thing is, I almost feel like these guys, both of whom are really smart guys, almost would suffer less if they were more stupid. You know, a dog does not question its existential meaning, like the reason it is in the world. Like, I think I watched a YouTube video before this because I was thinking like, okay, I can become like a little bit more educated on the topic of suicide and then speak about it. And I'm trying not to regurgitate stuff, and I think I've done a good job of that. Zapka, I think his name was. It was like W Zapka. Okay, so if you want to like look up, this is the guy, and I think he said that humans kind of like nature's mistake because we're too conscious. This is also a what's his name quote, Matthew McConaughey quote or something. Like we became like too aware of our own existence, and I think that's really true. We're the only animals, he says, that know they're going to die. And that's really difficult for us. It's really interesting talking to these guys. Like, with the sort of goals, that like if you have a goal that you're working towards and stuff, you're happy because suddenly you begin to see the world through the lens of this goal. And if you can really become possessed by it, suddenly you don't question what's outside of it. Like if you're really focused on the gym, suddenly chalky milk, instead of becoming just like a collection of atoms in a universe where no one knows what's going on, it becomes like the protein fuel, you see, for like your mission. And then you don't have any of these worries about problems of like, why am I here? But then, and it's like the second you step outside of those goals, you just see like the void. You're like, okay, I can choose these goals, but what's the goal of the goals, you know? And dogs don't have this problem. Dogs just are. If my friends were more stupid, and myself included, like you'd never question what was beyond beyond the goal. You would kind of get the goal and hopefully like you'd see another thing coming. But I guess like I don't think it would be a good thing if you were more stupid. It is a scary thing that I have thought with before. I used to really do like there was a point where I was like very interested in philosophy, and low key, man, like I just kind of got like a bit scared. I got driven to a point of like actual insanity of like, why am I here? And like just stuff. And I was like, it is not worth it. I cannot turn my brain off doing these things. And it's like almost like it doesn't matter. But it's difficult. Kind of the same with physics. I used to be really, really into physics and maths and couldn't help but see myself becoming a physicist. But then almost kind of just got disillusioned. Like, why? There's always just going to be a bigger thing. But I think instead of asking why, you should instead try and think about what good it does for others. There isn't a big moral reward for why it was a good. Actually, I mean, there is a moral thing for why it was a good thing we discovered, like the laws of thermodynamics or nuclear physics or quantum physics, because it enables us to build technology that allows people to connect better with people and save lives. Oh, I've just answered my own fucking question there for yourself. The problem is we're at a point where like everyone's so comfortable that like physics doesn't really impact that anyway. Like at this point, it kind of is just like mental masturbation. I mean, I guess like if you could unify, like that's the thing. Like the real thing that's left is a theory of everything and a theory of quantum gravity, and it's like once we know that, like, great, we just kind of know more stuff. It's not going to enable us to build new technologies, but that's probably really naive because, like, of course, it would enable us to. But you see what I mean? Like, there was a big problem with, like, I don't really know what I'm going with this. But, yeah, in the same with philosophy, like, there's no point really. It's like the questioning, it didn't really lead anywhere. It kind of led to just experiences the best thing possible. Just experience life, and like I can't help but agree with that. Like there isn't a reason that like I really enjoy playing the guitar sometimes, but like before playing the guitar I don't feel like that it's the meaning to life. But when you just get absorbed in something, and there was a video I did about this too ages ago, and you can't help but just kind of like, if you get really into something, then you don't think about all of these other things. And but it's difficult then when you're trying to live a life in like a broader context of like the world, of like, okay, so I mean I can do my guitar for a bit, but eventually I'm going to get bored of that. So then what next, and why am I doing any of this? And I think, I mean, my mentality now is just very much try and be a good, capable man that can just have the capacity to make choices. Because then it's like, if I decide that the meaning to life is like, I don't know, have a kid, right now I can't do that. So like I might as well like build capacity. The problem is that doesn't really, like, you can always like, I want the capacity to become Elon Musk and like go to Mars if I decided that's the meaning of life. But like, honestly, life is just side quests. Like I said, like, look, I've like delved a little bit into it, and now I'm just so much like, life's just side quests, and it's simpler. And the trick is just don't think about it too much. And obviously, if you are suicidal, get help. Like talk to someone. Literally just talk to someone, and don't go in with a mindset of like, oh, this person's gonna like try and convince me otherwise. And try not to talk to someone that's just gonna like shoehorn a bunch of stuff down your throat that like you already know, because they don't understand like what you're going through. But just like let them know what you want to do. And then they'll just be like, oh, fuck, But yeah, killing yourself doesn't help anyone. So that's like probably a good preface I have to put for video. And yeah, but it is weird, like that. Why shouldn't you be allowed to? Like everyone says, it's like a really really bad thing. But like in Sweden, no, in Switzerland, you can kind of just do it. It's a very dense topic. I shouldn't have ended on such a bad note. There, but. That's life, like, and it's kind of nice that if there was a meaning to life and you just did it, once it can't be something you can accomplish, because once you've got it or done it, then you have no meaning to life. It would have to be something that sustains you. And I think if we are made in the image of God, and God is a creator, if you can create stuff and really put a piece of your soul into things and then like get it out into the world. I think that is where you're happiest. If someone asked me right now, James, what is it? How does making a YouTube video right now give you meaning to life? I was like, I don't know, like it doesn't give life meaning. Life is just right now. Life's just making videos. Life's like this and then this and then this. And like, oh, but why do all of that? It's like, why not, man? So, because like, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like, there isn't like a good reason to not. Just like, I don't know. Don't want to. This is a very sensitive topic, and I don't want to offend anyone. But this is just some of my thoughts, and it was really interesting having spoken to these friends. I didn't realize that there were people this close to me that were like dealing with this, and I think porn was another thing that, like, after speaking to like friends about it, I didn't realize that no one spoke about it, but everyone dealt with it. And suicide, not everyone deals with it, but like people really close to me, like just mentioned to me, I was like, fuck, damn, like, you know. So yeah, speak to your bros, make sure they're okay. Have a good one, and thank you very, very much for watching. Catch you probably today. You know, I've got a lot of cool stuff that's happened that I want to chat about. So thank you very much for watching, and papa. Do widzenia.